We are doing, that's the Cthulhu token on the Unvisited Isle. It's a good start. The encounter that we're doing is a grain of evil. A woman is attacked in Uptown Park. That's the summary for it. Or like little introduction. So, here we go. We have until day 5 afternoon to solve our encounter. Otherwise, we run out of time and then Professor Armitage yells at us. But here we go. This is happening on June 30th, 1929. Responding eagerly to a telegram from your friend and mentor, you rush to the Miskatonic University Orno Library. There is a warm summer breeze gently rustling the trees, allowing the dappled sunlight to flicker lightly onto the streets. You cross the university quadrant to reach a great Gothic entrance. Professor Henry Armitage, Miskatonic's erudite librarian, greets you at the polished wooden door to his office. He leans on his cane, his wrinkled face cracking into a smile. Well then, I have an interesting little problem for us to explore. I don't know if this is a good voice, but this is the one I'll go with. It has been some time since we exercised your deductive faculties, so how about a simple mystery to get you going again? Obviously, there is a chance that the events last evening involve more than a simple crime, but I do not believe that to be the case. However, after my experience of last summer, one can never be too careful. He shudders visually upon alluding to his confrontation with the Whateleys in the village of Dunwich, which, as we all know, Ashcan Pete.
We're following up on in our other game.
Yeah. So go watch our Arkham horror card game playthrough to see that. Armitage settles in a chair and adjusting the violets on his desk. Inspector Garrison called over breakfast this morning and precipitated my note to your good self. It seems the inspector is at a loss and requires our specialist assistance. Last evening, as you may have noted from this morning's edition of the Arkham Advertiser, a disturbance occurred on West High Street. It was a pleasant enough evening, and at 7 o'clock the streets were relatively full. A young woman, well-dressed and of seemingly good health, collapsed on the sidewalk after emerging in a state of distress from Uptown Park. Which is
it makes sense that she collapsed when she's of obscenely good health.
Yeah. A small crowd gathered to assist the young lady. An orderly from St. Mary's Hospital and his wife stooped, to revive her, and a policeman was found. The orderly noticed a growing crimson stain seeping onto the woman's blouse. He slit the garment free with his pocket knife. At once, the horrific nature of a wound in the lady's chest was apparent, and he stemmed the steadily increasing flow of blood. I'm happy to report that the disaster was averted by his quick thinking. An ambulance arrived in good time to take her to the hospital, and they've managed to stabilize her condition, so she's alive. I thought she was going to be dead. This is good news. The librarian pauses to sip coffee from a delicate cup. The policeman assumed this was an attack by an unknown assailant until the woman regained consciousness momentarily in the ambulance. She raved nonsensical syllables before crying out that the trees were alive. Alive! Whilst dealing with the mysterious lady, the policeman was sharp-eyed enough to spot a man lingering in the crowd of onlookers. The man was acting in a furtive way, watching the proceedings with a curious detachment. He was tall, over 6 feet, with a worn brown shoot and dark hair, and a distinctive birthmark under his left eye.
Did you read that again?
Yes, he's 6 feet tall. Over 6 feet. Mm-hmm. Brown suit, dark hair, birthmark under eye, left eye. When the policeman called out to the man, he fled the scene. Being preoccupied with the lady, the policeman was not able to pursue and noted a description in his pocketbook. Armitage sits back, the leather of his chair creaking. He steeples his fingers. The identity of both the woman and the mysterious fugitive remain a mystery. It also for us to determine if there are forces beyond the mundane at work. You better get going. Let Garrison's men take care of the crime scene. They do get rather protective. Before you set off, Armitage says, remember, if you need help, come see me at my home. I am unlikely to be in my office when I'm working the case. Okay. So we know Uptown Park is where the attack happened.
But we don't know where that
Kick him out.
Kick out Mike?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike, you shouldn't be here.
You can't watch this.
You can't watch
We're
this,
competing.
Mike. We're competing. This is a competition.
Does he know that we're competing?
Yeah, he's better learn. So why don't we write down some So we have Uptown Park, which is probably just in these parks. I think a big part of this first one is going to be learning how to do the get through this book.
I'm pretty good with those.
Sure.
What are you looking for?
We're looking for Uptown Park. See if we can...
Parks?
Yeah.
Yeah, Uptown.
Why don't we just go to
Uptown
Northside
Laundry.
Park and pretend like it's the same.
Yeah, see if it's the one.
Churches Graveyards?
We can also go to see if we can find Inspector Garrison. And maybe not Inspector Garrison, or the St. Mary's Hospital, because maybe the victim's there.
We could go to the cemetery, because maybe she's dead.
Maybe she's dead. We could talk to her coffin.
Talk
Where's
at
Uptown?
her coffin.
Yeah.
You. Is it marked on here?
Okay.
What number is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't see it in the U's.
There's no like. It's not in the U's. It's not
Okay.
like residential, not private company. It's not like these things.
It's none of those.
I don't think so.
It could be a hotel.
I guess it's not.
Okay. That sounds like a wasted business opportunity.
Where's West High Street? Is that on there somewhere?
West High Street.
Oh no, just on the map.
Yeah, I was looking to see if it was like.
No, I don't see a West High Street. There's a weird hair on the map. That's a nightmare. Huh. West Street. West Street.
West Church Street. West Saltonstall Street. West High Street.
Yeah.
So they also say we don't need to. He's saying that we shouldn't go to the. Garrison's men are taking care of the crime scene.
That's good, because
We can't find the crime scene. So the crime scene obviously is not
It just
important to
doesn't
us.
exist.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
need to go to the crime scene. It's fictional. We could go to the hospital.
Well, the newspaper though, there's important stuff here.
Is there an article about her? West High Street, when Young collapsed. You're able to provide assistance. Maybe we go to St. Mary's Hospital to start. Because that's where she is, right? We go to the New England School of Bookkeeping. That might have something important.
It's St. Mary's, right?
Yeah.
St. Mary's.
Which is C11. Bryn's still thinking Unvisited Isle.
Oh yeah.
Go
for
talk
sure.
to Cthulhu.
Go talk to some young hooligans. See what they know. The answer's probably nothing, but that's okay.
Hey, hooligans!
Hey, you.
Go talk to this woman about her cat.
We can solve the side mystery in addition to our mystery.
Side mystery, is that finding the cat?
Maybe, I don't know if there is a side mystery. I'm just making one.
Last night saw the birth of twins for 3 families.
That sounds a bit weird.
Yeah.
It does.
Birth of 3 twins. I'm just gonna skim through what we know so far one more time. But he doesn't give us any hints. He's a fucking asshole. Is there a police station? Can we go talk to Lieutenant Sheriff Garrison or whatever his name is?
Detective, I think.
Detective, yeah. There is a Garrison, but he's probably not home. He's probably working.
What day is it?
This is morning.
This is today's paper?
Yeah, this is today's paper.
Okay.
So how it works in the other encounters, you always get the newspaper that's for the date of the encounter.
Okay.
And you get all previous newspapers as well. So there are also going to be stuff here that's pointing to future.
Amazing. So that means that we're on the last one. We need to go through all of them.
Yeah.
Nope.
We're gonna have to delegate some stuff, I think, then.
I think we'll know. We're like, okay, so this has been solved. Boop! We don't need to worry about this twins again.
What about this fat soap?
I think we should just start by going to the hospital. See if we can find her.
Okay.
Yeah?
That's pretty reasonable, I guess.
Just go. Maybe that'll give
Take
us
the
a lead.
obvious lead for the first one.
Yeah, and then just... Because this is like a... So, as this, we go to the morning. If there's an encounter, Bryn will put the C11 on there. Pastor Mabel, thank you so much for the cheer. Dropping those bits in the cup, going all over us, Travis and I. Bryn doesn't seem to get hit, though, which is probably good. All right, campus district, C11. That's this one? C11. Cool. All right. Armitage often mentions his friend, Dr. Vincent Sutton, as being a useful point of contact at the hospital, and you ask for the doctor at the front desk. The stern administration assistant frowns at your request, but dispatches a message to Sutton all the same. After you wait for what seems like an age, Dr. Sutton appears and greets you in a detached and professional manner. He's in his mid-40s and is clean-shaven. Head amplifies the size of his thick, horn-rimmed glasses. He allows a cursory nod when he tells you the reason for the visit. Of course Armitage told me to expect you, he says. You'd explain that you are investigating the mysterious case of a woman brought into the hospital after a collapse at the park. It's not my case, but let's head upwards to see if we can find out. Up to the wards, rather. Sutton leads you through the white halls, weaving in and out of foot traffic. On the way up, he asks whether Armitage expressed interest in the lights dancing around the nearby Emperor home. So we should write that down. Lights dancing near the Emperor home.
I did. That's in the
Oh, perfect.
thing.
Some of the hospital workers have seen them in the old buildings that is supposed to be abandoned. When you tell him that Armitage hadn't mentioned it, the doctor shrugs. You arrive at Ward 6, and Dr. Sutton makes his way down a row of beds, stopping at the foot of one containing an attractive young woman. The woman is sleeping soundly, and Sutton lifts the chart from the end of the bed and consults her notes. We still don't have her name. She is listed here as Jane Doe. Strange, the wound in her chest was deep, likely carved by a sharp blade cutting into the flesh.
It's actually Jane Doe.
That's just her the unknown name. Yeah.
Okay.
However, 5 of the upper ribs on the left side were also fractured during her incident. It is as though someone removed or was attempting to remove something from her chest cavity. Most unusual. Dr. Noyes conducted the surgery to reset the bones. So, speaking of unusual, Noyes cleared away a good deal of brownish-colored mucus from the wound. He sent a sample to the lab. The lab assistant was sent to the university library, so that's probably a lead that we can follow, to consult medical treatises as they were unsure about what the substance consisted.
University library, right?
Yeah. Pasquale knows about strange things as well, so Pasquale knows strange shit.
How do you spell that?
Pasquale.
Pasquale.
As Sutton ends his speech, a nurse arrives to administer a shot. No sooner is the needle withdrawn from the woman's arm, she thrashes in her bed. Sutton doesn't look concerned, and he pats the nurse on the shoulder. The discomfort will quickly pass. Then, shockingly, the woman's eyes snap open, and she screams a piercing shriek. Sutton calls for help as the woman raves madness, spittle dripping from her chin. Only at Bay Friars, but no, not there. The trees. Why are they walking? Edward? Where is my Edward? Why is... The trees have eyes? Edward, we were supposed to meet at the bell. Why are we here? Edward, it hurts, Edward. Stop it. Stop it. Sutton steps in and holds the woman's shoulders, talking to her in a cool, calm and soothing voice. After a few minutes of delirium, the woman slips into a peaceful rest. She's really been through the mill, Sutton says. The wound will heal just fine given time. However, as you have seen firsthand, there are some scars that are beyond our ability of repair. You have learned all you can from the good doctor. Her efforts were taken for examination by the police. I think they were taken over to the criminologist, Dr. Corbett. Please let me know if you discover her identity. I'd like to contact her family members. She needs someone to look after her. So
Corbett?
Corbett. C-O-R-B-E-T-T. Corbett. Yeah. So Bay Friars is probably something that's important.
Yeah.
Edward.
Yeah, okay.
Cool. You want to just write down Edward as the name? That's probably her
Yeah, I
husband.
got
Okay, cool.
that. Can I have the
Directory?
directory?
Sure. Spamonite, how's it going? Okay. Thoughts, quandaries? I think everything's in order here. She's crazy. She thought she was married. She fell, impaled herself on a lamppost, and then she just walked into the streets.
That sounds reasonable.
Cool, case closed. Let's go to the solution phase.
Sorry, it's good, it's done.
Dr. Armitage just looks at us and says,
You're fired.
yeah.
Don't ever come here again.
As a side note, that cheeky prick right now is also doing his own investigation, and it's our goal to try to get as close to the order that he went. or the number of turns that he took to get to solving it.
Who?
Dr. Armitage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, why isn't he helping them?
I know, because he's like,
Come on.
he's an asshole. He's like, I'm going to do my own private investigation. Kirkcamp, how's it going? Okay. Just looking up all the places.
Yeah, all the relevant stuff he can decide on stuff.
I just don't know what, like... So we have... What do we have? We have the Emperor House, which is the lights, which doesn't seem directly connected right now. But this is the second time we've heard it mentioned, so it's probably something. We have the... They took it in for the sample of the brown mucus is at the university.
That doesn't sound like a bad place to go. We could also go to the police guy who had the...
Yeah.
Who took her effects.
Dr. Corbett?
We should go see Corbett and see if we can figure out who she is.
Sure.
And visit, see if she has any family.
Oh, that's a great idea. Okay, cool. So which one's Corbett? Are you looking for him right now? Or do you have his location?
He'll be in here. D45.
D45, cool. I'm also glad that Fan Justin's wearing a shirt. D45. You rap on the door to Herbert Corbett's lab. We are in afternoon. And after a moment, you are greeted by his helper. He recognizes you and shows you through to Corbett's workroom. The workroom is a chemistry lab with several Bunsen burners blazing away. Herbert is huddled over a bench. On his head, he wears a magnifying apparatus, which he lifts to greet you. Welcome to my criminology laboratory! He shakes your hand. Sensing this man is kept very busy, you don't waste any time with pleasantries and ask about the attack on the woman in Uptown Park. Ah, yes, a strange one! He talks a lot, I'm not going to do a voice. I believe that I can shed some light on her lodgings, if nothing else. Corbett reveals a brown cardboard box. Garrison left these for me to examine. The blouse, as you can see, is saturated with blood from a wound made in her chest. I was interested to note that the blouse was not damaged before she was administered first aid. This suggests that the blouse was put on the woman after the injury occurred. Huh. More revealing in this lady's purse, which contains an address. Here. He rummages in the box. This is a bill from Rennie's boarding house. So that's where she's currently staying. And a secret confirming that she had paid for next month's rent in advance. There was a receipt as well from a bookstore. Hey, Corbett. Yeah. How's it going, Corbett? So also you should note that they put the shirt on after she was stabbed. That's what it looks like.
Okay.
That might be of note in our questions. Okay, so just the boarding house and the bookstore, which doesn't really do much right now, but she's probably... Oh, wait. No. All right. There's pictures. There's a receipt from a bookstore. So, Meredith's Used Books. $3 receipt with thanks for Coleridge's collected poems to be inscribed on the inside cover with, to Edward with all my love. Hashtag, not hashtag.
Hashtag.
She signed it with M.
M?
M, so her first name probably starts with an M. I'm going to go with Maggie right now. Marge, maybe? Mary, probably. It's probably just Mary.
Probably.
Yeah. Or she's Meredith. $3 received with thanks. Coleridge collected poems.
It's probably not her husband then, if she's staying in a boarding house.
That's true. Probably just like her. Maybe
a boyfriend
she,
or something, so
yeah.
we probably don't... Last name probably isn't going to help us too much.
Yeah, maybe she traveled to Arkham to see him or something like that. That's why she's staying in a boarding house. There's so many strings to pull. Is there a Meredith's in there? Or?
There's only last names.
Oh, for the
bookstore.
bookstore, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. There's a lot of stuff to look up, man. I got a lot of stuff to go through. I've not even done, like, initial leads and where they would take us. Like,
yeah.
Fuck me. Stores. Yeah, Meredith's Used Books is M50.
Okay.
I mean, I'd appreciate if they mentioned it and then just doesn't exist.
Yeah.
That would be good. That would be the side mystery.
That's why there's all this stuff, because
There's
apparently
some
there were
notes.
some things that just didn't appear. So that's why it's, I don't know if you can see it from the upper camera, but yeah, you can see a few little Justin scribbles like right here, up there, because of some corrections. So
Because you can't have two D1s.
You can't. Alright, Travis, what do you think now that you've gone through all this?
Alright, well,
I still like the idea of finding out who she is.
yeah. We don't have a ton of other leads on that. Like, we could go, like, ask for... We could go to Meredith's bookstores, probably... No, the boarding houses if we're
Boarding
looking
house
at
is
where
probably
she lives.
Yeah.
Other option is, like, Meredith. She might know something.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to inquire about Edward, she said they were supposed to meet at the Bell. And then there's something about the Bay Friars.
Yeah. And then there's also the brown mucus.
The Brown Mucus in the University Library.
Yeah.
There's some guy in Pascal who also knows some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's just gonna be like, what do you know? And it's gonna be like 3 times
Into the
7.
hospital.
It's 21.
We're gonna
It's gonna be like, good job.
but it's not what we're talking
That doesn't
about.
help.
Yeah.
And then for the newspaper stuff, like there's the Emperor home we could go to. There's the personal ad LP muscle hap again down Arjun and what this means. There's a couple options for that. For the birth of twins, like there's one Baxter's, there's one Ahos, and then there's like fucking 8 or 9 Smiths. So we're not doing that one.
Sure, that sounds good.
We could go to the Unvisited Isle.
Yeah.
And we could also investigate Sean Woodhead's death because his companions are in jail.
Okay. Okay.
Which I feel like that one's probably relevant to a later one, not this one.
Yeah, I feel as soon as, but we now know like that we hold us that if we hear
To
any
be
Sean
fair.
Woodheads or like deaths on the Invisited Isle, we should check those.
To be fair, having a girl get stabbed and then putting like a shirt on her after sounds like something a bunch of drunk people would do.
Yeah, I mean like because we're on the inside, I definitely feel like this is cultish. Or the lamppost theory still holds some sway.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
She went to go buy a book. And then
Let's go to the boarding house. That's the obvious one. This
Sure.
is the first scenario, so I imagine it's going to be relatively straightforward.
Yeah, I would agree with this.
Metagaming a little bit.
We're going to day 1 evening. What's the boarding house? Do you have the number for that?
Yeah, it's F16.
Thank you. F16. Boom. We got it. The 3-story clapboard board house on Litch Street is neat and presentable. A small sign advertises that Rennie's boarding house has vacant rooms. You're greeted at the front desk by one of the Rennie twins, Thomas, a friendly man in his 30s with a mop of dark hair. Are you wanting to rent a room? I don't know why I think everyone in here is British, but... You describe the woman in the hospital who was attacked, explaining that she had a receipt for payment for one of those rooms. Ooh, well that sounds very much like Martha Modine. So we're going to name Martha, M-O-D-I-N-E.
Modine.
Yeah. She's been with us for over a year now. I believe she works over on Main Street in one of the stores. I do hope she is okay. She's got a kind heart, always willing to do a kindness for a stranger. Aww. Oh, she's smitten as well, having recently fallen in love with a man named Mr. Hartwell. Don't care for him too much. Surly, eyes makes my eye dark. Oh my god, this is weird. Surly, eyes makes my dogs bark every time he is around. My dogs never bark. Clearly young Martha can see redeeming qualities, I suppose. You ask if you may see Martha's room, and he agrees, striding past you, brandishing a passkey. Martha's room is modest, but well kept and pleasantly decorated. On a small bookcase, there are several works of poetry. A photograph in a frame of the mantel catches your eye. You walk over and examine it. It is the picture of a lady and a gentleman, and there can no doubt be that this is the woman that Armitage described and that we also saw in the hospital, just for reference. It doesn't say that, but that is how that works. The couple gazes lovingly at one another with that faraway, dreamy look of a movie romance. The man has a small birthmark under his eye. Okay. So that's the guy who was in the crowd that ran away. Boom. Edward. I'm just going to say it. We can trust Thomas. His dogs have good barking capabilities.
No,
Thomas,
I know
His
that.
dogs don't bark.
Thomas says that's them, Martha and Hartwell. Though he looks as though butter wouldn't melt in his mouth, unlike her. Thomas, that's a weird thing to say. You ask for more information on
British,
Hartwell.
what do you want?
You ask for more information on Hartwell and Rennie, and Rennie tells you that Hartwell has been seeing Martha for several weeks and has a house on the lower south side on East Saltonstall Street.
Which
Yeah.
one was this?
This was F16. Yeah, I could never live on a Litch Street. because that's just too spooky.
No, that'd be cool.
I'm just gonna...
Because there's like a much better chance that you're gonna be a lich.
That is actually a fair point. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah, that means you can live forever.
All right, so Hartwell E lives on L26.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you got that already?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
That's why I had the book.
Nice.
Because I'm doing that.
Nice. I have this book because I do funny voices for a little bit. We can go to the slaughterhouse on fucking D41. How does that sound?
Irrelevant.
All right, in your opinion.
If we're gonna go someplace that we just pull out our
We should
asses,
go
I'd much rather we
food.
get pies.
Does foo exist?
Good luck finding in there.
No doubt, eh? Yeah, it doesn't exist.
It's the not worth your time.
Okay. So do we go and confront this Edward guy right away, or do we
I
like
think we go to the university library first.
do the mucus? Yeah, I agree with that.
Sure.
That's cool. Day 2 morning. We all wake up. Ah.
And we...
My brace is C23.
C23, thank you.
Yeah.
C23 has an encounter. You come across Miss Sargent amongst the stacks in the Orne Library. Don't tell me old Armitage has got you working on a Sunday, she says with a grin.
Yeah, would dick.
Yeah, what is it you need from our repository today? You explain the nature of your visit and your request is met with a curious look. It's just funny you should say that, because the hospital has been working on something that came out of a patient. I've had to move on to some of our more esoteric volumes after I drew a blank. Come on, I'll show you what we've got, where we've got up to. Miss Sargent leads you to a narrow flight of stairs, through a door marked restricted no entry, and into the restricted reading room the librarian crosses to a heavy reading table made of solid oak and shows you an ancient tome resting there. This is the dreaded De Vermis Mysterious, or Mysteris, written by the German von Bryn. I am working on a translation in my spare time. That's not a good idea. That's not good. Her finger waves over a page, shaking nervously. We got it. Here the book speaks about a mucus residue being a byproduct of ritual sacrifice. The book also speaks of the guardians of occult ritual, horrible monsters called the Dark Young of Shub-niggurath. Boom.
Got it.
We got it. Hold on.
That
I
makes
know
sense
another...
with the moving trees, too.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and just the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, we're also, like, quite
Black goat in the
knowledgeable.
woods.
Right? Yeah. Hold on. I know
Don't-
another thing
don't
about the
tell
book
me.
that references these things. The librarian moves to the shelf and hefts down another tome with the title Ibon embossed in gold upon its spine. She flips through the pages. Here is a story of creatures called the Dark Young of Shub-niggurath about a Teutonic knight in the 12th century who led a band of villagers into battle against the evil living in the forest. Ever their praises and abundance to the black goat of the woods. Iya Shub-niggurath, the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young. The shub are the height of 4 men. Let's see, this text roughly translates, they are able to stand perfectly still and lurk in the shadows of the trees as if blending, waiting upon its prey and attacking with tentacles that sprout from their heads. Miss Sargent pauses, hand over her mouth. Well, they sound frankly disgusting. I assume this is a variation on the Grendel myth from the Beowulf saga. No, it's not.
No, this is real.
Yeah.
It's real shit.
Alright, cool. So now we know what ancient one we're dealing with.
Do we want to go talk to Armitage then?
We could. I
Well,
think
there
we
are
could-
options for people who know stuff about esoterics.
Look at this little, this purple but red one that's just come in here. It's a weird little thing.
We could go talk to Pascal Phantom.
Is he the esoteric one?
His knowledge of the so-called great old ones is extensive, and on occasion may be forced to team up with them.
Okay.
So L4.
L4, what are some other options we have?
Other options, like this is pretty much the end of this.
Okay, yeah.
This lead. Right, we got there, she told us stuff. Let me see where we solve that one. We go confront Edward.
Yeah.
I would go where they're supposed to meet. There's also Bayfriars. I don't think those are particularly relevant though.
And I feel like the book is a dead end. It's probably just poetry.
Yeah.
She's probably just buying a poetry book for him.
Yeah.
He's got to be the one in the cult, right? And she's just the unwilling sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. And then there's like the ones we got from the paper again, but
Yeah.
it's basically like Edward, or we go talk to Pascal. What was his name? Yeah, Pascal.
All right. Should we go to him?
Yeah, sure. L4.
L4. Boop. Afternoon, day 2. Here we go. Armitage has little good to say about the odious little man that is Pascal Fenton, Arkham's most celebrated occultist. He and Armitage have a lifelong rivalry. Too much the showman, and some might argue charlatan for most taste. However, Pasquale manages to make an impressive living. His mansion is tawdry and garish, decorated with a vast collection of the occult, including deformities in jars, unusual medical devices, and jewelry that evokes satanic ritual. He invites you in, cordially enough, but the smirk that appears on his arrogant face when he learns the reason behind your call raises his hackles. Oh, so now I've consulted on this matter? I'm going to make this guy sound annoying. I would have thought... Oh, no, he talks a lot, too. He's going to talk like me. I would have thought that the bumbling idiot Garrison would have come to him myself rather than sending his protege. Biting your tongue, you explain that the wound on the young lady, why the police... why the police would be concerned. Pasquale realizes he's being a bit nasty and changes his tone. So just going right now, he's just going to tell us it's Chubby as well. So he doesn't tell us anything new. Trees. She went on about being attacked by trees, did she? I would suggest that you have stumbled upon cultists of shub-niggurath, also known as the Black Goat with 1,000 young. There are mutterings of certain dark rituals that, well, her followers use a sacrificial victim to host the spawn from unholy seed to infant. The wound on this woman may be that, or maybe she is just insane. The mad abound in Arkham, as I know you have heard from stories. That would be a better guess. Pasquale pauses and encourages you to tell him more about shub-niggurath. He's a bit reluctant to share his knowledge, but continues. A spawn of Shubby, sliced free from the flesh of the host and brought into this world to wreak havoc with whatever horrors it may. Investigate the witch cults in Arkham if you truly want to go down this path. It very well be that the lady who was attacked is delusional from some poison, or she made it up altogether. You ask what the spawn is likely to do if it indeed has been born into this world. Pascal bites his lower lip. For now, nothing. The spawn will take a number of years to fully mature. The texts speak of these creatures often attacking domesticated animals, particularly dogs and cats. Even in seed form, the animals can sense their evil presence. With this, you thank Pasquale for his insights and leave. So now we know where that missing cat's gone.
Yep. Also, why what's his nuts dogs and like Edward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So which cults is there? The section
Which
for
house?
cults.
Yeah. Oh, there's cults and it's just going through the directory. No wonder there's so many problems.
Maybe.
This is the cat section, the cult section. That cat corrupted my brain. That's why I said cat there.
The cats are right next to cults.
Yeah. They recently opened up a cat cafe on White Ave right next to the board game cafe there.
Is that where you take your cat and it eats food?
No,
you
there's
go
just-
there and they just have.
There's just dozens of cats.
Yeah, you just drink tea. It's like a cafe, but there's cats.
It's a cafe run by a crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, they're like, I need a way to make money from all these cats.
My sister went there for her birthday. Also, when she and my mom went to Europe.
Yeah.
My sister, like, they ate at a cafe like 5 times over 2 days.
Jeez. They must love cats.
Yeah.
My sister does. She's gonna be a crazy cat lady.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would have figured a cat cafe was the place that served cats.
Yes, that also
As
could be
food.
applicable.
But that was, yeah.
Missing Tabby Cat. That cat's not coming back, D.
Cat's
Pickman.
fucked.
Nope. The plus side, he doesn't have to pay out the reward.
It's true, he gets to save money.
Hey, it's you gotta look on the bright side.
The witch house is a boarding house. According to this.
Yeah, for witches.
So Bayfriars is an abandoned church.
Weird. Okay, it seems like a dangerous place. Can we get is Armitage gonna give us a gun or something? Can we get a shotgun to roll better on attack rolls?
There's several firearm stores. Go buy one.
Cricket's just throwing down all the scared cat ones.
Other relevant places, I'd say the Witch House by name, but that seems way too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Check out the SPCA. Look for missing animals.
Yeah.
That one also seems like a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, but I like the lead idea.
We could go to the Silver Twilight Lodge and have them spit on us and throw us in the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, we could go talk to what's his nuts Edward.
Yeah.
The Invisible Isle, there's stuff happening there, and that seems like a place where
I feel like
illicit
I feel
stuff
like
had
Bryn
happened.
put this here because he knew the final fight was here.
Yeah.
But it's always on the Unvisited Isle, right? It's got to be. So I guess like our two biggest leads are either going for Edward or the Witch House, right? Is there any I'm missing?
No, I'd go with Bayfriars over the Witch House.
Oh yeah, Bayfriars or Edward.
Yeah. There's a couple clubs that might qualify as witch places. There's an Eye of Amara Society. I'm not sure what that is. There's the Miskatonic Valley Paranormal Society. Order of the Solar Twilight Lodge. And then like there's Unione Italiano, which is a bunch of Italian guys probably. Go have some spaghetti or whatever.
That's racist. No, wait, it's not.
Spaghetti.
Yes,
That's
he just says witch cults to investigate.
Yeah, it's probably not the witch hunt. Or witch house then.
But that's one of the ley lines. It opens there and then go gate, and then we have to walk through it, and then we're in the Dreamlands.
And then that has nothing to do with
think
this
what we
story.
should-
Oh no.
I think what we should do is two of us should go and do whatever the thing is we're going to do, and the other one should go to Armitage's house to try and delay his investigation.
Yeah. Just go to his house fast. Put all those books down.
Oh wait, here, did
I
you
was
hear discover
looking
anything
for
interesting? I
something.
just wanted to see how you were doing. How's the family? I don't have a family. You know that.
Shit.
Anyway, no, it's like Bayfriars or we go talk to Edward.
I think we go talk to Edward.
Okay, L26.
L26. We all go talk with Edward on the evening of our second day. L26. There's an encounter.
There better be. Just like nothing. Good.
Edward Hartwell's home is average and unassuming. A cat draws your attention as you step forward to knock on the door. The mangy feline is backing away from a basement window. The boar creature's eyes are wide and its back is arched, hair standing on end. It's hissing in the most fearsome way. You knock on the door, and when there is no reply, you knock again. As minutes tick by, you decide that a closer inspection of the rear of the property might be in order. After all, if his lady was injured, there's a chance that someone may have attempted to injure Hartwell as well. No, he's bad. We know he's bad.
He did it.
The yard at the back of the building is well tended, and the fence is new and painted. The back door is unlocked. Stealing inside quickly so you're not observed, you find yourself in the clean and tidy kitchen. The cutlery and plates are neatly washed and stacked on the drying board. The attention to the tidiness continues in each room. A pile of mail addressed to Edward Hartwell sits on a small table near the front door. Remembering the cat, you discover a small cellar door in the kitchen and head down in the basement where a bare, flickering bulb illuminates a small workroom. Discarded under a workbench is a small broken packing crate stamped with the Miskatonic Museum's address. On the bench lies a wickedly sharp, straight-bladed...
Think about stolen artifact.
Theft delays news exhibition.
It was Edward. On the bench lies a wickedly sharp, straight-bladed dagger etched with unusual symbols on its wooden hilt. The razor-sharp blade reveals flecks of red stain. Next to the dagger is a bowl, also stained red. Your stomach lurches at the uncomfortable thought that these are the implements that injured the woman at the hospital. A few pieces of old parchment with indecipherable crabbed handwriting lay scattered nearby. Placed next to the parchment is an open wooden box containing 4 large grain seeds. Each is about the length of your fingernail and jet black. Ugh. Leaving everything as you found it, you exit the property the way you came, but you also find a note, which is the one that I hand wrote. It's a note to Edward. It says, "I'm glad it all went as planned. I will arrive in town Sunday by train and meet you at B's Diner. I will collect it from you there, so be sure it is kept warm."
The senior curator, yeah.
From the Boston Museum. The new artifact was on loan from the Boston Heritage Center. Sorry, what was that place?
B's Diner. Justin, please, what did I do, Tire Planet? What did I do? What did I do wrong?
Diner.
Meanwhile, in a camp far away, Camp scours all Twitch channels to sub for cat icons. I believe it. It wasn't signed, though, the letter. So those grain seeds were pretty much just little babies, right? Right, we can agree on that? Cool.
B's Diner. So yeah, well, we resolved that one. Options are like, go to B's Diner. Again, we could go to the Miskatonic Museum and ask what the exhibit there is setting up is for. And see what that's related to. That might just lead us to it being Shubby again.
Yeah, it might just be like, oh, or just like, oh, it's a cool knife.
Yeah,
That
probably.
ancients used to sacrifice to some sort of god.
That's pretty fair. I don't think that's
Yeah,
particularly.
taking the knife.
Yeah.
I mean, like, duh. Well, we didn't want to know over there.
Yeah, we did. That way he'll come find us and we don't have to waste time looking for him.
And
It's true, we'll just go,
It checks out.
find us!
Maybe we just go to Bayfriars.
Bayfriars? I think it's either Bayfriars or Bee's Diner, right? One of the two.
Is
Yep.
it currently Sunday?
It's day 2. When did this newspaper come out? Okay, so this is actually Monday that she had us working. Because now it's going to be Tuesday,
Okay.
technically. But I imagine
So they
all of these
met
take
on
place on
Sunday.
Sunday.
Probably doesn't matter,
Yeah.
That'd probably be a little bit too next level stuff to pay attention to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like, well,
I feel like Bee's Diner is just going to be like, yeah, this. I mean, like, that's where he could be right now, right?
no, this is on Monday,
Yeah.
right? And then no was probably like, the meetings already probably happened.
Yeah, so.
I think it's gotta be the Invisible Isle or Bayfriars then.
I would do Bayfriars over. Yeah.
Ben,
No,
sure,
you
sounds
know,
cool.
You know where my vote lies.
F14, we're saving that for the end, Ben. It's a big review.
And F14?
Yeah.
Alright, we are on morning day 3. Oh, at least we're going to the abandoned church in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's a pretty solid decision on our part.
Yeah. F14? Boom,
Yep.
got it. Bayfriars Church has clearly been abandoned for some time. There are a number of vagrants clustered around an oil drum fire. One man spits menacingly into the fire, eyeing you with one good eye. You mingle with the vagrants, and eventually they open up. You describe the woman who was injured, and they can tell you that a woman matching her description came by earlier with charitable gifts of food and clothing. I believe her name was Martha, the one-eyed man sputters. I didn't get a good look at her face on account of my one good eye. So that was just to find out her name.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like this, to also metagame a bit, this is also to teach us that, you know, it's like encounters will just lead to that. Like we had 2
Yeah.
options to go from there.
And we've gotten the shub-niggurath one twice already.
Mm-hmm.
Other option is she was supposed to meet over at the Bell.
The bell.
And then she ran into him somewhere else, apparently.
Okay.
Maybe she went to the other cafe and he was there, and she was surprised.
Yeah.
Let's go notes, so if we resolve that one.
The real metagame is the cat in the chat. I agree.
Cat meat in the chat.
There's a lot of cats happening here.
What is the meta Xbox mayor? Explain it to me. What's tier 1?
Which cat is
Yeah, which cat is?
Which is the
tier
optimal
1?
cat. Like, do we go to Bee's Diner?
Yeah, Bee's Diner. I'd go for Bee's Diner.
We're kind of running out of options here.
Yeah.
Do we have any
We could just
idea-
like go to the Invisible Isle.
Do we have any idea what the bell is?
The Bell, it's another diner.
It's in the diner, and that's where she was supposed to meet him.
And there's a cafe.
Yeah. I think of those 2, I'd rather do Bees because we have the note in Edward's house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the Invisible Isle.
What name does it allow?
There's also like
How about
the Arkham Bell telephone, but that seems stupid.
yeah? There's 2 things we can do. So the next time, if we don't find anything in Bell, if nothing is in Bee's Diner, we go to the Unvisited Isle for nighttime on the 3rd day of our investigation.
Deal.
Get devoured. Does that
Done.
sound good? Cool.
Investigation's
Investigation
over.
Armitage's first question is, why did you go to the unvisited isle?
Why did you die?
Which one is diner?
D9.
D9. Boom, D9. It looks as though you missed the action by the time you arrive at B's diner. A police wagon pulls away as you turn the corner. You spot Inspector Garrison standing with several uniformed police officers inside. The detective greets you with a nod. We got him thanks to the tip from Armitage. Fuck!
Fuck you, Armitage.
Edward Hartwell matches the description of the man that Keene saw fleeing the scene of the attack last night. I've placed Edward under arrest, but he wasn't being particularly cooperative and things got violent. That said, I think he's going to end up in the sanitarium to be sure. The nonsense he was babbling. The overturned chairs and smashed crockery scattered around the diner tell the tale of his arrest. You ask if Hartwell had anything suspicious in his possession. Perhaps. He came to the diner with a small package, according to the waitress, but he met a man who called himself Victor and gave the package to that gentleman.
We already got there.
Who's Victor? Which one's...
That's the guy from the other Boston place.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
We already figured this one out.
The waitress overheard Hartwell's companion saying that he had to rush off, that he didn't miss his train. Garrison appears upset that Hartwell's contact evaded capture. My jurisdiction ends at the city limits. That package is someone else's concern now. With a twinkle in Garrison's eyes, suggesting he's intending to follow the man with the package, he tips his hat and turns to speak with one of his officers. You realize that Garrison wouldn't leave a loose end like that to chance.
No, that's a super meat boy.
That's not a top tier cat.
It might have been at one point. Cats are made of meat.
So,
Let me go to the side.
where did you guys... I just missed where you guys got the Victor from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
It said he would arrive Sunday, and this was like Saturday's paper or Sunday's paper. Or whatever.
Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
So we have either go to the sanitarium to talk to Edward, but he's just really going to talk about Shubby, right? He's going to be like, oh, the black goat in the woods. He's going to do this.
A visit Ellen?
Or we go to the train station to try to
Oh, yeah.
catch Victor.
Or visits.
Well, we found a lead.
Train station, I guess, sounds good.
I mean, or we also could just go right to the Invisited Isle. What does Bryn think?
Let's go to the visit.
I think we should go to the Invisited Isle. The train station does sound like a much more sane option.
Yeah.
Let's do train station now.
Sure. Which one's that one?
I don't know.
Okay, cool.
I'm busy writing down train station.
I wouldn't know. I have to write the words train and station.
I don't understand. Craig
N38.
Camp has given up, and I don't understand why I got a well-played Justin there.
So you won, just accept
Did you
it.
want?
I'm the best. I did it.
Sorry, which
N38.
And
38?
Yeah.
N.
As in Neil?
Yeah.
Oh, right here.
Like, not K, though.
Alright guys, I guess we're going to the Invisited Isle. When you arrive at the train station, the ticket officer tells you that you just missed this afternoon's train for Boston. The next service to Boston does not run until tomorrow morning. Invisited Isle?
Yeah.
M9? Here we go, guys. With little difficulty, you are able to secure a rowboat from an elderly whiskered man who smells of cheap gin. Rowing across the briskly flowing Miskatonic is more problematic. After difficulty navigating the waters, you set foot on a small island. The ground is covered with thick undergrowth, scrawling shrubs, and twisted, ugly trees. The boggy nature of the ground makes search of both time-consuming and tiresome. By the time you reach the eastern tip of the island, you are covered in breer scratches and your feet are sodden. The standing stones that are visible from the Garrison Street Bridge are around 7 feet tall, and 6 of them are arranged in a circle vaguely reminiscent of pagan ruins found across northern Europe. A cursory search of this area reveals the remains of a fire surrounded by discarded alcohol bottles and cigarette butts. Amongst the dense undergrowth, your keen eyes pick out a dank leather satchel with the Miskatonic University logo embossed on the front side. Inside the satchel is a jotter with the name of Barclay Rutger, which contains some rather bad poetry.
How do you spell that?
So Barclay, as in like a bar of clay.
Oh, bar of clay?
No, it's just Barclay, so all at one word, no of.
Oh my god, Travis. Fired.
And then Rutger, Rutger.
Like how?
Which contains some rather bad At 28 pass, he said he would not stop until Justin recognized his feline. You did not see your stream became a cat cafe. Didn't we acknowledge the cats a lot?
Yes, that's also not relevant to the story.
So I feel like now maybe the poetry actually kind of has to do something with it.
Maybe we're gonna go find this Barclay guy though.
Yep. So then this is where it happened, right? If we found another Miskatonic University satchel or something.
I mean, like, that just means that there was some sort of Miskatonic University.
Sorry, can I read the thing for that?
Yeah, sure. Starts here, goes down to the next page.
What's a jogger?
Pardon?
Jogger is just like a notebook.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Cat mythos. Is there a Rucker in there?
No.
No.
I guess we go to the university then.
Well, haven't we been to the university?
Went to the library.
We could also
University's
go to, we
huge,
could also
man.
go to the bookshelf. The bookstore, sorry, not the bookshelf. I feel like that's still not a good lead, though.
I think that's just getting her name again.
Yeah.
Like,
probably.
oh yeah, the woman's surname was Martha. or
Oh yeah, it's
whatever.
like, here, let me go to my logbook with all my stuff.
Yeah.
But then we find that inner place. We found the thing in her room, right? The receipt, didn't we?
No, that was
that
on
was in
her
her
body.
personal effects. That was in her personal effects, yeah.
Like for the university, we can go to the science annex, the Memorial Bell Tower, the Hoyt Administration Building, the Jonathan Edwards Hall, the Laundry and Steam Plant, the Liberal Arts Building, the Loxley Hall, the School of Medicine, Science Hall, St. Mary's Teaching Hospital, statue of Dean Halsey, or in the library, or Professor Armitage's office.
That's a lot of stuff in the university. We could go to the sanitarium, try to talk to Edward.
Yep.
We could go to the slaughterhouse, try to buy some meat for dinner. That's hungry. I'm hungry. I haven't eaten for 3 days and 3 days. And
Again, we could go get pie.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were gonna go to the university, look for this guy. Like, I'd suggest probably the Liberal Arts Building because he's into poetry, apparently.
That's a good point.
Or
That's
we
a
go to the
good point.
administration building and see if he's a student enrolled there.
Yeah.
Is there a Barclay anything?
Barclay.
Yeah, Rutger sounds like more. I mean, both sounds like they could be a first name or a last name, but Rutger sounds more like a first name. No?
No Barclay.
Okay.
Maybe we just go to the sun. I mean, it's just gonna be crazy. And shub-niggurath.
At any point we feel like we've hit a dead end, we can also just call off our investigation.
Just
right?
give up.
No. You feel like you have everything and you go to the solution phase.
Oh, okay.
Right?
And then like the end of time is just like
You automatically
have to
go there. Yeah. Yeah, because I don't know, because once again, I don't know if we're looking for an ending or if we're just trying to figure out what happened. So what we think happened so far is that this woman was used by Edward as a host for the seed of Shubby, which they then cut out of her in the frenzied cult state that she was in. She kind of lost it and went insane. And then she escaped, and he gave it to Victor because he stole the knife from the museum, right?
Yeah.
So that's what's happened, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything else that we're missing, right?
It could have been like he didn't use her specifically. They could have.
That's true. It could have just been. So maybe a visit to him at the sanitarium might be a good idea.
Yeah, let's go check
To
the
find out his
sanitarium.
motive, right? Huh. Hey, Mascota, how's it going? More cats. I love it. Just keep the cats coming. They provide a lot of
What?
support. Hey, Serenity Game.
D1.
Sorry?
D1.
Thank you. D1?
Yep.
There's no encounter.
That's unfortunate.
So we erase D1 on there, but it still takes up a time. I don't know what else there is.
I mean, like, he's not at the sanitarium right now, is he?
I thought that where they were taking him.
Didn't the investigator say
He said he'd
like,
probably
that
end up
he'd
at him.
probably end up in the sanitarium? So
He
he's
might be at
probably
the
in
police station.
right now.
Yeah, that's a good point. So maybe
Yeah.
we go there?
Sure. Alright, then I'm supposed to look that up. It's probably on here. D32.
D32 is here. One of Garrison's sergeants, the young Mickey Tull, saunters over to you and attempts to make himself useful in his superior's presence. You're looking for Garrison? He's out on a bus at some diner on this side of the river. Oh, fuck, the Emperor home. You ask him if there's any further information regarding the suspected attack on the woman in Uptown Park. Not much more to add. The lad's been going door to door. The only odd thing any of them reported is some of the Silver Twilight Lodge members hanging out about the old Emperor home. You make a mental note that you might want to talk to Sebastian Lyman. Who is the police who first visited the scene in Uptown? That'd be Matthew Keene. He's not on shift today, I'm afraid. So we have the Emperor home, Sebastian Lyman, and Matthew Keene.
But only time to do one of them.
No, we get at the end of this encounter.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have 2 more places we can visit.
Sebastian, I suppose, last name?
Lyman. This guy, the mole.
Oh.
And Matthew Keene. Keeen. 2 E's, sorry, I said 3.
This guy wouldn't have written down 3.
Keep the cats coming. So I feel like Keene's just going to give us a story of what happened.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't think we need to see the mole. That might be a set for like a future one.
We can go to the Emperor home.
I guess. Maybe that's where they doing the ritual or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Travis just took out his eye.
Yep.
Today I learned that Travis has contacts.
Yeah, I can't see so good
One
with them.
time, he got maple syrup on one of them.
Oh no.
And put it in his eye.
Yeah,
without
that
noticing
sucked.
it.
Oh, that
That was so funny.
That was really awful.
That just seems like the worst thing.
U41 for the Emperor home. Emperor house.
Cool. U41. Boom. The Emperor home is dilapidated, is a dilapidated, crumbling building that exudes a kind of tragic melancholy for its loss of grace. The front door is boarded up, as are the windows. Around the side, you find a window that has had the boards carefully removed and placed neatly on the ground. Squeezing through the narrow opening, you find yourself in a moldy hallway. The smell of rot and damp permeate the air. There is little to discover on the ground floor apart from the evidence that the hallways have been well trodden recently. The dust is thick everywhere except a trail leading to the stairs.
The Batman's Dallin Quest is a cat stream.
Yeah. Yeah, Dallin Quest.
Get out.
This is a cat-only stream, but thank you for your input. There's little to discover on the ground floor apart from evidence that the hallways have been well trodden recently. The dust is thick everywhere except a trail leading to the stairs. The trail continues up the stairs onto the 3rd floor. In a large room, presumably a former music room, judging by the moldy piano pushed into the corner, you find something disturbing. The room contains a large painted pentagram on the wooden floor with unlit black candles at each point. A series of sigils are daubed against the walls and floor with the word Nyarlathotep reoccurring again and again. You try not to stare at the symbols too closely as they make your vision swim. Perhaps an illusion from the low light, you are not sure. Between a gap in the floorboard, you spot a small silver
How the
medallion.
fuck do you spell Nyarlathotep?
But apart from that, its unusual
Nyarlathotep.
design doesn't tell you much.
Nyarlathotep. Kep. I know there's a ritual going on here.
So I feel like that's unrelated to this.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Yeah, that is just the Silver Twilight Lodge doing just Silver Twilight Lodge
Silver
things.
Twilight things.
So we have 1 encounter left. Do we have anything that's worthwhile, or do we just call it here?
Like, there's the bookstore. We
I
go
agree
visit
with your-
Matthew Keene. We go to the university. And there's like a bunch of random stuff in the newspaper that's probably relevant.
Yeah.
Maybe we just call it.
Maybe we just call it? I'm good to call it if you guys are good to call it.
Alright.
Alright, we're going to call it. Armitage, we're done. As a side note, I found U67. Is that on this board somewhere? Oh, there it is.
Good.
That's Uptown Park. That's what that is. Yeah, it's not in there though.
Oh, beauty.
I'm gonna add that in for the next one. It looks like you don't want to go there though. It's all negative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right.
What would it go under?
Okay,
Other
you were-
locations?
Yeah, probably wherever Independence Square is.
Yeah. Under there. It's,
Here, I'll put it in with the marker that I do with
Yeah,
the other
okay.
one. Thank you though. All right, so these are the questions. What is the name of the woman who collapsed on the street?
I wrote that down. Martha Modine.
Mothar Modine. Who was the suspicious character that made a quick exit from the scene of the crime? That's
Edward Hartwell.
Hartwell. How did the woman come by her injury? Stabbed with the serrated blade.
Yep. She was stabbed by the fancy knife.
Yeah. What is the danger in the park? Shubby? Oh no, Dark Young. It's Dark Young, probably.
Yeah.
Dark
It's
Young.
like the tree guys. The
Yeah.
spawn of
Yeah.
Chevy.
What was stolen from the museum?
The knife.
The knife. Who is the out-of-town cultist by shub-niggurath? That's Victor.
Whatever.
Victor Ingram. Why did the cast hiss at the wall on East Saltonstall Street? Where did he live? What's his nuts? And what was his location number?
Edward. Like that's probably just his house.
Yeah, but
L26. Where the
L26.
fuck is L26?
Right here. Okay, so that is his house.
Yeah. Okay.
Because there were the Dark Young
Because there's
eggs
yeah.
in the.
And the cats and dogs don't like that.
Don't like that. Who did the hospital workers see on the top floor of the Emperor home?
Silver Twilight people.
Silver Twilight people?
Yeah,
think-
Silver
yeah.
Twilight
Okay.
guys.
What was Barclay Rutger up to?
We don't know that.
We don't know that.
Also not in the thing.
What was the name of the late night? I feel like he was in the Fine Arts building though at the university. What was the name of the late night graveyard visitor?
No idea.
Why did the late night graveyard visitor visit at night and what was he doing? No idea. What is the word scrawl over the Emperor home? Nyarlathotep, right?
Yeah.
Okay, do they have the answers? Okay, cool.
Hey, Dragon Man.
So I'll ask again because I actually have the answers over here.
Yep.
So what was the name of the woman who collapsed? We got 3 points. So do you want to keep our score? Edward Hartwell is 5 points. The ritual extraction of the spawn of shub-niggurath is 5 points. So what is the danger of the park? A tree that comes to life or a dark young? So we get 3 points instead of 1 point because we got the actual name.
Nice.
What was stolen from the museum? A ritual bowl. We actually got that wrong. So 0 points there.
Okay.
It was a ritual bowl or Cathotha birthing dish.
Yeah, okay.
Who is the name of the out-of-town cultist? Mr. Ingram, we get 2 points. Why did the cats hiss at the wall? It was sensing the seeds in the basement, so 1 point. Hospital workers C, members of the Silver Lodge, 2 points. What was Barclay Rutger up to? He was drinking with his friends on the Invisited Isle. So we didn't
Okay,
get
that's
that
the guy
one.
who died.
Yeah. Yeah, doing the moonshine. Who was the name of the late night visitor? That was Thomas Ilsley. Why did the late night visitor visit at night and what was he doing? He suffers from insomnia and was conducting research for a book. And what is the word scrawl over the point, which is Nyarlathotep 1 point.
Okay.
So, sanity. If you visited the Uptown Park, you lose 1 point because we encountered the Dark Young, but we did not do that. Locations visited. Count the number of locations you traveled unless a location did not contain an actual written encounter. Deduct 1 point for every one you went over 7. 5, so we lose 5 points. All right, what do we got?
17.
We win. On the
Nailed it.
following page, you may view the locations Armitage visited. So 12 points was a win. Fewer than 12 was you were an amateur. If you scored 18 points, you've done quite well, but now you're convinced you've attracted attention of someone. Go to Investigation 2, Supplemental Encounters, and read Entry 12. So we didn't do good enough to get that encounter.
We were very close.
We
though.
were very close. So, This is the closing of it, the solution. In the end, a simple mystery. Back in Armitage's office, you feel the legwork of the week was far from simple. Garrison, reclining near the open window in the leather-winged back chair, gives you a look that implies he agrees with you. Garrison says, there was the question of the woman's identity to wrestle with Henry. That seems like the most pertinent facts that we were missing from the start. Armitage nods. Indeed, that was the forefront in my mind as well, Inspector, and once I'd visited a room at Rennie's boarding house, I was able to put a name to our young lady, Miss Martha Modine. Garrison looks perplexed. What on earth led you up to the French Hill to the Rennie house? Armitage grins. Oh, he's just fucking bragging. That's all he's doing right now.
If this piece of shit had worked with us, instead of doing his own thing, we would have, like, crushed
He's
it.
just testing us because it's how he gets off.
Apparently.
Alas, Inspector, so wrapped up were we in your officers' door-to-door solicitations over the identity of the young lady that they neglected her possessions. Her receipt from the boarding house clearly showed they intended to stay there for another month. This then led me to her friend Hartwell in his lair, so clean and tidy. Garrison shrugs begrudgingly, admission that a focus on the surrounding streets was the wrong call given the circumstances. Well, what happened to her then? Why did the villain Hartwell attack the woman he professed to love? That, Inspector, perhaps will never fully comprehend. Mr. Edward Hartwell had a love greater than the one he professed to hold for Martha. There was a special bond between the two, but Edward was held thralled to a dark powers beyond our world. The rantings he uttered upon his arrest were a testament to that. His love for the unspeakable evil of shub-niggurath outweighed even his fondness for the lovely Miss Modine. He must have been planning it for some time, slipping one of those damnable seeds into Martha's food, where it wriggled its way into her chest cavity, there to grow and feed on her like a parasite. Martha was the unknowing host, the evil inside her. I must admit that weasel Pascal was some use there, and it confirmed what I had learned from reading Ibon in the library. A lingering memory of his feelings for Martha must have prompted Edward in remorse to redress her and lay her out to expire, rather than complete the prescribed sacrifice. Any film noir settings for this sort of game? This is
kind of film noir.
It is. It's kind of like horror noir.
It'd be film noir if it wasn't like Cthulhu themed.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I can't do these games. I get why they exist. So this is our first time through it. So it is. We did pretty good.
It didn't rain at all. There was this one lady, but she's dead now.
Yeah.
And we're not allowed to have guns, apparently.
No. It is likely that the secretions of
There's
the
a knife,
spawn,
though.
blah, blah, blah. So she woke up from the little blah inside of her, and then she walked to the park, and Garrison's like, oh, why did she walk? Why the attack in the park then? Surely he was taking a risk in such a public place. Armitage pauses, then knowingly responds, it would seem the ritual needed to be overseen by a watcher, a dark young, shub-niggurath's blasphemous child. Where could one of these evil creatures hide in Arkham but in a heavily wooded park? He needed to conduct the ritual outside. What risk was there in overgrown a part of Uptown Park? With a slice and a snap of bones, he was able to free the unholy spawn and store it in the Cathatha birthing dish that was taken from the museum. That is, until he could transfer it to more secure bindings and hand it off to his friend, Victor Ingram. It is a shame you missed him, Inspector. Garrison nods at the suitcase next to Armitage's desk, the twinkle back in his eye. Aye, a shame. Seems like you and I have a trip to make in the morning. Unfinished business. Then they go out with their shotguns. So he visited the hospital, the library, the museum, Pasquale, Corbett, Rennie's, and Edward Harlow's house. So he's just a fucking genius. The fan person is me, Dalen.
Well, like, it's there so that way you have a way to explain the story as you go forward, right?
Yeah, but I feel quite good with how we did.
No, I think that was pretty good, especially considering we didn't understand the game mechanics fully.
Yep.
We weren't sure entirely what we were looking for.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Want to get the next one going?
Heck yeah.